Hey guys, today we're working on the raised beds, doing kind of a combination Hugelkultur raised bed situation. You can see we got 4 of them. We're setting up the 4th one right now. But let me get you spun around, show you what we're doing. All right, so you can see how I've made these. They're 8 feet long, 2 feet tall, 2 feet wide. So it takes one 4x4 cut to 2 feet. These are each 2 feet. And these are 2 feet, so you can take a 2x4 and cut these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then whole uncut 2x4x8s along the sides here. So it takes one 4x4x8 and 5 2x4x8s to make this one. And we have this metal from our teardown house that we're using, as you can see. And the okra is going crazy in here. I don't know if you can see these things, but these red okras, they have a real pretty flower and they're just going absolutely bonkers in this raised bed. And this one we made first and it's falling apart, but it's got some okra in it too and some sweet potatoes. And then over here, I made this one a little bit longer. I think I had like a 12-foot 2x4, so I cut them a little bit longer, but it's still 8 feet. Sweet potatoes, I need to get in here and weed these things. And some lucid gem tomatoes that I'm starting. But what we're doing today, a tree fell out in the pasture and I'm chainsawing it up to get these limbs. I'm going to put the limbs down first inside of here to fill up the bottom probably half. And then I've got some big logs I'm going to put to hold it down so that it kind of compresses. And then I'm going to put some horse manure from these guys on there. I wonder if you can actually see there's a fresh pile. I'm going to put some fresh there and then some composted on top and then a little bit of regular soil on top of it and get these things going. I much prefer these raised beds. I don't weed this, and you can see there's no weeds in here. If there is a weed every now and then, like over here, I just haven't pulled anything on these sweet potatoes because they're doing so good all by themselves. There's a couple in here. See one there, but they're doing all right. And then a blueberry farm around town is shutting down. They were selling these for $10 a piece. So I went and bought 10 of them. I got a mulch around here. I put carpet down so the weeds don't grow up. I'm gonna get this area cleaned up. And the Jabotacaba, it was in the ground, but we get wet. You can see here after Hurricane Ian, we had so much water out here for so long, the avocado died, and I had it planted right over here, but I'm worried that if that happens again, I don't want these things take forever to fruit. It's like 8 years till they fruit, and I don't want it to get to where it's fruiting and then die because it's sitting in water. So I'm going to put it in a bigger pot eventually. But here I got this sprinkler that turns on every other day. I might move that over near the food forest. I'll give you an update on that in a minute after we go through this. You can see my timer sitting in there. But I'm going to put up a time lapse here. We're going to fill this thing up. So here we go. All right, so we got that loaded up. And I did it a little bit more full than I wanted, but as we load it up, it'll smush down. So I'm gonna get the tractor going, put the bucket on, and go get some wood chips and then some compost. Here we go. All right, so I have all that in there. I put a fresh batch of manure in here. This has been not composted. Then I have a load of wood chips. It's a couple months old. I'm gonna put that in, spread that out on top, and you can see this is filling down in here. While I'm putting this first is all the little area between the little twigs and sticks and stuff. This, it's still got bounce to it like that. All that will fall down in there and fill up all those holes. So we're working on getting that in there. I'll put this mulch in and we'll have this thing knocked out in 20 minutes. All right, guys, I skipped all the boring stuff for you. Just tractoring some stuff, moved over some dirt to the food forest. We're gonna plant some sweet potatoes in the middle. Let me flip the camera around and I'll show you what happened. All right, so that's full. And as this settles over the next couple weeks and months, you can see where the dirt level is in here. That's what's gonna happen here. All those branches are gonna start to decompose and settle down. So this looks over full, and I'm gonna add a little bit of some soil to it because this is just compost on top. But we have a ton of that, so I added it all in on top of those wood chips and the fresh manure from the horses that I think are on the other side by the food forest. I'll show you them. But this will settle down, and we're probably not going to use it. But you see in this little crack here, it's void. So there's voids all through here. If you put the hose in there and got this stuff to go down, you would see that it'll fill in all those gaps and end up being like that down there. So plenty of room left there. And we'll go over here, look at the food forest. You can see our starfruit tree is in bloom again, and it's down there. This thing, I don't think it's ever going to get any bigger because it just keeps on throwing blooms. It's got a bee working it right now. The bees are up there. I got a little bit of pollen in that box there. There are some pollen substitutes, see if they want any. We've got a new top bar hive, and I bought a queen and did a little split into that 5-frame box. I need to go check. I'll probably do that tomorrow. But we're flattening this out from when it was so wet. We had just so much water here. The Peace River, which is our closest river, is at a flood stage that hadn't been at since 52 or something like that, 1952. So brought a bunch of compost over here, and you can see I've got the sweet potatoes that I had in some pots that we were getting ready to do this with. I put them in. So we're just gonna let this centerpiece just become sweet potato city. We got a ton of them out in the back behind the barn where we don't go a whole lot, so we forget about them. And we got so much rain, they got ruined because of it was just mud that they were in back there constantly. So they were rotten. So we'll have to start a new batch, getting all this cleaned up and ready to go for next spring. Another Jamaican cherry out here. Papaya tree fell down in the storm. Planted some melons. Supermax pumpkin is probably too late now. Having a hard time with our olive trees. This one, everybody wants me to get this longevity spinach out of here, but it's the healthiest. This one looks like it's drying up, and so do these two back here. I already cut one of them down because it was dry and lost its leaves. Planted 2 pigeon peas by it just now, and here's the other one, and it's just not happy. So I don't know what is going on with these olive trees. It might give up and put something else. The Barbados cherries got blown over in the storm, but everything else pretty much made it. Wasn't too terribly bad. Looks like we might get some rain. I might be watering in vain here, but that's all right. We need to water these things in. So that's what's been going on out here at the farm. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let us know. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.